Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Evil people. Seriously, why do folks think they can treat employees this way to begin with? Some people are wild, like how hard is it to have basic decency? But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Crazy Karen. This just happened. It's a Sunday and all I want to do is finish my house cleaning, cook enough stew for easy lunches for the week, and shower the funk of not bathing and deep cleaning the house has created. My skunkish, crunchy, achy body is past ready to finish, and the discovery of no fresh cat litter has me moaning and groaning. Don't judge, I did the sniff test to see if the cat box can last a few more days, and plot twist, face scrunch, it can't. As I said, it's Sunday morning and my leopard-printed fuzzy slippers and not red sweats wearing butt climbed into the car to travel to the big red bullseye superstore for the handful of necessities, including the kitty litter. I have my wheeled crutch and I'm waddling up and down the aisles, picking up the list whilst wondering why the laundry detergent is in a plexiglass prison. Really? Liquid detergent's about 9 pounds, so how does one hide it? Do they just dash for the door with a 9-pound jug jiggling in tow? Don't forget the litter. The deodorant I can kinda understand being in a plexiglass prison. A sour-faced woman runs her cart into mine, startling me out of my musing and stopping my cart in our tracks. Before I can get a word out, SP, it's about time, I need deodorant. Me, okay. And I try to move my wheeled crutch around her. SP, where do you think you're going? I look around to see if there's someone else, mainly a red shirt, and then look down at my old blue and faded to gray sweats and slippers. I don't work here. SP looks at me with an increasing sour look and scoff, I need deodorant. I don't know if I imagined it or not. I could have sworn there was a stomp, including now. I'm within the Karen age myself and don't suffer fools easily. Also, I've lived with hearing-diminished people, over 80% hearing loss, and worked in large, noisy bars and shops. I can honestly say I know how to get my voice to carry over a live band to inform rowdy drunks it's last call. I don't work here, and the normal drum of voices and carts instantly quiet in our area. SP, how dare you talk to me in that tone? And she shrieks, Manager! In a tone that has hellspawn howling at the ambulance. I attempt to leave by backing out of the aisle. SP sees me backing up and rams her cart into mine, knocking it into a plexiglass prison shelf, then reaches towards me or my cart. Don't touch me! I can hear feet running in our direction in the silence after I finally raise my voice. A pair of red shirts comes down to us, and before they can mutter a word, SP, I want this bee fired. One red shirt looks at me, hair in a not stylish, unwashed, messy bun, old sweats, and again, leopard-printed fuzzy slippers. Ma'am, she doesn't work here. They even had a cartoonish look of puzzlement, single eyebrow raised and all. The other red shirt asks me if I need assistance, and SP interrupts in the most petulant Karen voice, I need deodorant. Not a single apology given. I luckily didn't forget the cat litter. And our second story. Nasty little diet. So this was a while ago, but I still remember it vividly. Bit of backstory. I worked at a little independent pub/restaurant here in the south of England. I was already a regular who knew them by name and worked there for almost a year, so they were pretty chill with me doing whatever as long as I wasn't being ridiculous. So I'm working one night, and it gets to around 9 p.m. Most of the kids left a while ago, and the adult groups are finishing their meals. Not many people were coming in as the food service gets suspended by 9:30, and it becomes a lot more like a social bar until 12:30 when it closes. That's when this lady charges in with her 2 kids who looked about 6 and 8 respectively. They weren't the typical bratty demons you hear in a lot of these stories. They weren't polite by any measure, but they were reasonably quiet the whole time, and were only a problem when they purposefully spilled an entire large glass of Coke onto the carpet. But that happens more often than you'd believe. The mom was rude the whole time, complained that the drinks took too long to come out. It took less than 5 minutes because the place was almost empty, complained the food selection was terrible. We had a great menu for a combined pub/restaurant, and especially how rude I was. I try to be as polite as possible, but she got angry when I stopped her kid from pouring a second glass of Coke onto the carpet. So I take the mom's order of a risotto for herself and 2 kids' burgers for her children and remind her that food service cuts off in about 15 minutes and her kids need to be off the premises by 10 p.m. She gives me a bit of a disapproving glance and tells me she can't tell her where her kids can be. I say it's our policy and walk off. I come by a few minutes later to clean tables and she clicks at me, yes, literally snaps her fingers and ushers me over. So I come over and ask what she needs, but she just goes into a rant about how long the food is taking and how she wants the food out now, even though it's only been about 10 minutes. I apologize and tell her I'll go check with the kitchen and see if they can speed it up. Before I go to ask the kitchen, I go to finish the table I was cleaning. Apparently this is too much for her, and she starts yelling that she wants the food immediately and that she doesn't care about what I say. She just wants it now. So I politely say, "Are you sure you're all right with having it served right now?" She just keeps shouting, so I leave and go to enact my plan. I strut into the kitchen and shout to the staff, "Table number wants their food served now." They're obviously confused and tell me it's not done yet. I just smile and say, "She said she doesn't care. She just wants it now." The chefs realize what I'm saying and start plating the food. The burgers were clearly undercooked. The cheese, which is normally added near the end to melt, was just chucked on top at room temperature, and the fries had only just been put in the fryer, so they were almost frozen. But they arranged them neatly on the plate. What was worse was the risotto. Since it cooked so quick, it hadn't even been started, so they just measured out the ingredients into a pan, mixed them up a bit, and served the completely raw ingredients as if it were steaming. At this point, the chefs were going to go home since it was past 9:30, but they decided to stay to watch her reaction. I swiftly brought out the food, as I would with any other customer, and placed the meals in front of them. The mom immediately flipped out and started screaming about how her food was completely raw, without even realizing her children's equally underdone meals, and demanded we take it back. I simply smiled and said, "I'm sorry, miss. As I told you earlier, food service closes at 9:30 and the staff have already gone home." Even though I could see them giggling from the kitchen, she went ballistic and began staring at the food. She suddenly realized her kids' meals were also not cooked and shouted, "How dare you try to serve my kids raw food?" To which I replied, "Well, miss, you did say you were okay with me serving it to you immediately, and that's how cooked it was at the time." She went bright red, and it looked like she forgot how to talk out of rage. She ended up trying to talk to the manager, who just told her we did nothing wrong and she would have to pay for the food since she did request it to be made that way. After about 20 minutes of arguing, he told her it was 10 p.m. and if she didn't pay the bill, he would call the police to remove her and charge her for the bill. She paid and stormed out, and I haven't seen her since. I worked there for a few months after that, only left to go to uni, but really loved it there despite the odd occasion. And our last story. I reported my nephew to the police after he stole and damaged my car. I'm a 22-year-old male, and I'm the product of an affair. My dad's about 25 years older than my mom, so all 3 of my siblings from him are 17-plus years older than me. I didn't have a relationship with that side of the family for the majority of my childhood, but my dad and grandparents often sent money, holiday cards, birthday gifts, etc. I'm a lot closer to them now and have had good relationships with all my siblings, nieces, and nephews until this happened. I own a 1976 Corvette Stingray that was gifted to me by my maternal grandpa when I turned 17. I built this car up from a roller, and it's my most prized possession. I went out of town for 2 weeks for work and left my car in my paternal grandparents' garage. I don't like keeping it at my place when I'm away for long because I don't live in the best area. I've done this since my freshman year of college, and there's never been any issue. Until now. When I got back into town, I immediately went to my grandparents' house to pick up my car, and there was a big dent and a lot of paint missing from the left side of my car. It looked like someone sideswiped my car. I asked them what happened, and they were confused. When I showed them, they were as shocked as I was. They told me that my nephew, Kevin, 25-year-old male, had been messing around in the garage the previous weekend, but they didn't see him take the car at all. We checked their camera system, and sure enough, he'd taken my car. I tried to call Kevin, but my number was blocked, so I called my brother and told him what Kevin did to my car. He said he'll ask him about it and recommended a body shop for the estimate and repair. When I got the estimate back, there was $3,700 in damages. I told my brother the estimate, and he said that the estimate was ridiculous and that the damages weren't that bad. I told him either he or Kevin had to pay for it to get fixed or I'd be contacting the police. I gave him 3 days and he didn't pay me, so I filed a police report and gave them the videos of him taking my car. Kevin was arrested at work and my brother was pissed. He called me going off about how I ruined Kevin's life over a car and said some threats. My sisters and dad have been calling and texting me asking me to just put the family first and drop the charges, but I don't want to. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.